I have way too many personality flaws to be president, but I certainly could be the man behind the president, so to speak. I would be a very good chief of the staff and such.
Sentiocentrism, or sentiocentric antinatalism. You have Benatarian and you have Efilism sentiocentrism. What's the difference?
None, as far as I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Why should there be?
Yeah. Respect. I think there is a lot of overlap to the concepts of or concerns of overpopulation to antinatalism. Especially living in India, I experienced this firsthand. So because there is an overlap, we should exploit that overlap. And what I mean is that when I go out on the streets or when I talk to people about this, I see that it is more appealing or palatable to people when I talk in terms of overpopulation.
No, the anti-natalist community and the vegan/animal rights community is still very separated. What do you think we can do to try to join the two movements together closer?
Compared to anti-natalism, animal rights activism and vegan outreach are bigger movements. So those people are natural audience, like they are the easy audience for this concept. I sort of try to do an anti-natalism activism within animal rights activism sometimes. And people do have accepting reactions. I've had a positive experience in that. I've had young activists listen to those arguments and accepting that, if not calling themselves anti-natalist right away. Some sort of, I would say, marketing tricks can be utilized from what veganism has done. Child freedom is gaining some momentum now because of environment and population and COVID and blah, blah, blah. Antinatalism, not that much yet, but I think that's a step towards that. So that was a motivation, I think.
Yeah, it was such a revolutionary move to like ANI. I mean, Child Free India was the first to do this, to combine all schools of anti-procreative thought. I mean, Anugrah was telling me in his interview that something like 20% are vehement. There's only a few Ephilists, but I mean, just to include everybody at all, to try to find that unity is just astounding. It's something that inspired me tremendously, for sure.
We are using the term Child Free for Child Free India as a brand, as a movement, because that is something which is populist, which many people will connect with.
Right.
So we are using that, but I am a Ephilist by nature. Yes, Ephilism is in my blood.
Yes. No, but I think that you guys have been so wise to go with the child-free, term for what you're doing, because obviously I think, and you guys have been very successful going that route, and I think you were very right to do so.
Child-free actually, it is something which most people would easily agree with. So for outreach purposes, even voluntary human extension movement is better than this concept when it comes to people easily agreeing with you. We just kept it a softer name and softer stance as Child Free India. Two things to be considered is, one is strategy, one is the number of members. See, at that point, if I had started only, say, Efilism India, I'm not sure, maybe only me, and maybe I could have spoken to few people like Anugrah or somebody, so it maybe only 2-3 members. It wouldn't have expanded. So one is the strategy perspective, to what extent the audience can hear and digest. Right. The other perspective is different ideological backgrounds. So at this stage, let us all be together, let us work together. People change because, today one person may be child free. That person may not have thought about anti-natalism or something like that. They may not have studied about Efilism, either their own personal life experience or when they watch some video, when they see some memes. So they may change their perspective.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Your Arabic page of Efilism is a phenomenon in its own right. It is without question one of the largest anti-natalist groups or pages on Facebook, which is really pretty extraordinary. How on earth did this happen?
Yes, the Facebook page of Efilism in Arabic has more than 20,000 followers, and it's very famous now.
Do you think that there's a possibility that the Efilists from your page or some of the anti-natalists from some of the other large Arabic anti-natalist pages and groups will collect eventually and try to organize outside of the internet eventually? Do you see much potential or energy in that direction so far?
Yes, I do think that they have the potential and they have the passion and they are willing to do so in the near future. I'm hoping hoping so.
Another odd phenomenon attached to the Arabic page of Efilism is that it's an Efilist page, but the members in general don't really have much familiarity with Emendem at all, and they really haven't seen any of his videos. Is that true?
Regarding Emendem and his videos, yeah, they do not know much about the philosophy itself, and that the philosophy itself is from Emendem. I'm planning to share more content of more stuff about Emendem and maybe your movie, Amanda, The Efilist, that should be translated to Arabic. Some people know about him, but the majority of people who follow the page, they have no clue about Emendem. And they have no clue who's the one who came up with this philosophy. Although I tried a lot of times and many times to share this by sharing quotes for Emendem, by sharing videos of him. It's a little bit funny that some people follow a philosophy without knowing about the person who came up with this philosophy. But it's interesting at the same time because what's important is that they are Efilists, which is important.